Hey guys, we've caught up with Rowdy Givens. He is kind of our crossbow liaison, if you will. He's really been talking to me about getting the crossbow thing going within T.H.E. and Rowdy just has some things that he would like to visit with y'all and tell you about the crossbow and our stuff.
Yeah, Jimmy. First thing I'd like to point out is these crossbows are very family oriented. A lot of people don't understand a vertical bow is pretty much shooter specific. Your crossbow it's good for your whole family. You know what I mean? Your wife, your kids, they can pick it up and everybody could use the same equipment if that's what they needed to do. In today's times, not everybody has all that money to throw down on high dollar equipment. You know, and bows aren't cheap, even the lower end ones aren't cheap anymore, you know. So families could put this stuff together, you could get out, you can enjoy the outdoors. In your situation, in this situation, you get some ministry, and it becomes a family thing, and that's important nowadays. You got to keep our kids involved, our wives and things like that involved, and that helps us grow as families. It helps us grow as archers. I hate the stigma that comes along with crossbows. These crossbows are a piece of equipment just like any other piece of equipment out there in the hunting world. And they're just as hard to compete with these as they are in a vertical bow in a lot of instances. You still got to hold them, you still got to release the arrow, you still got to make the shots. The benefit and the beauty to them is, hey, you could shoot mine, I could shoot yours,
Right.
vice versa, and everybody can have a good time and enjoy things, and that's what we need to look at, and that's what we need to concentrate on.
Well, say Colton and I both killed one of the biggest, well, it's the biggest bucks with a bow for each of us this year. We killed him with a crossbow, and both kind of almost similar situations. I got up to the hunt. We were 4 hours from home,
Right.
and I set my bow up. I bought a new bow. I'd set it up the same way I did the year before, but this bow was 6 feet per second faster. And so I didn't realize that I had reached the point of underspining my arrow. And I'm all the way up there and couldn't figure that out until I got home, you know, and I'm trying to readjust what you're. Well, we had the crossbow there, and hey, I was able to take a crossbow, and I killed the biggest 8-point, largest deer I've ever killed. It's the second largest I've ever killed, period, but it's the biggest buck one I've ever killed with a bow. And so then he sat there and went with the same crossbow, like you're saying, people being able to use the same thing. He had something going on with his bow, went out on public land, and heck, he shot the biggest buck he's ever shot with a bow, and he shot it cross-handed. He's a right-handed shooter, and he turned around and shot this dude left-handed.
They're ambidextrous, and you can get them now with cranks, where you don't have to worry about if you got back issues, shoulder issues, like most of us do when we get up in age.
Yeah.
Some of your wives, some of your younger children, you know what I mean? They have physical limitations. You can get a crank and put on almost any of them now.
Right.
And it becomes everybody's piece of equipment.
Well, and like you said, the stigma that I think that people need to shoot these things and realize is that yes, if you got them on a bench, they're highly accurate. But when you got to stand up and shoot them, they're not that. It's a lot of weight out front. And then the other thing is it's still shooting arch. This thing, it's not a gun that you're going to reach out there.
Certainly not.
You're not reaching out there at 75 or 100 yards with one pin.
No.
You might, just like I can with my compound bow, you might reach 30 yards almost with one pin.
With some of them. But
yeah, but in the majority of them, no, you've got a 20, 30, 40 yard pin. And just like with anything else, if you're trying to shoot an animal beyond 40 yards, you're really getting into an iffy situation. I don't care what you're shooting.
Then you're talking about a whole different set of proficiencies and stuff for everybody.
Right. You know, I mean, can it be done? Yeah. Absolutely. I've watched people do it with compound bows, and yeah, we've watched them on TV with those. But the average person is not going to go out there and do that with that equipment. It's still going to be a 30 to a 40 yard limit in the woods.
Right.
I mean, heck, if Colton scans around us here, I want somebody to tell me where they can shoot beyond 40 yards. You know? And this is the kind of stuff I hunt in. So anyway, Rowdy, thanks for letting me hold you up for a few minutes.
No problem.
And you know, I think Rowdy will second this. If you're a crossbow shooter out there shooting 3D, come try.
I encourage you to come try.
Come do what we're doing, because we're trying to make it more like the hunt.